I think for me personally, the experience I've been able to gain is a benefit to the team, especially because I'm the point guard. We have a lot of great players that are smart and can make decisions, but I think I might have to be able to make the most amount of decisions.
Basketball fans, welcome back. So, about a month ago, or a month and a half, I made a video talking about the Nairobi City Thunder and their chances going into the Nile Conference. And as per recording this video, the Nile Conference is the last conference to tip off before the BAL playoffs. And we have seen the Kalari Conference, we've seen the madness that was the Sahara Conference, and this coming weekend, we're going to see the Nairobi City Thunder active in the Nile Conference. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about a couple of things that I had in mind, and also the recent transactions I've seen the Thunder.
My name is Feliciano. I'm from Brazil.
And their chances and what they can do to be able to qualify for the BAL playoffs. That's something that is highly likely because we have seen Creole Star clinch the first third place spot for the BAL playoffs, and with a very strong 3-3 record. I mean, this is a team that I had not rated highly, and now as we speak, we have one slot for the third place team left, and if the Thunder can be able to do some things differently, there's a high likelihood they can qualify for their first ever BAL playoff berth. And before we get started, like, share, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, get notified. I know there's a shift in our programming. You have been seeing the BAL content coming on this channel as opposed to the main channel. So the main channel will be focusing mostly on the NBA playoffs. And in this one, NBAKenya, I'll be focusing on more African basketball and Kenyan basketball, everything African, all that. And also the BAL playoff videos will be shifting to this side of the platform. So stay tuned for that. And that out of the way, let's just get into it.
So that experience of being in close games, being in big games, in loud environments, and still being able to remain calm, keep guys focused, I think that brings a lot of an advantage to our team for sure. So I think it'll definitely lead to some beneficial results for us in the BAO.
To make sure I understood basically how has scouting gone of our opponents? How do we feel like our lineups stack up against theirs? Yeah. I think I would say this: any of the groups at this point in this competition, it's going to be really good competition, right? All these teams are well prepared. All these teams are well stocked with talent. To answer your question, yes, we've been doing our own homework. We've even hired someone specifically for the purposes of scouting. So that's been a great benefit, and I think will continue to be throughout the tournament. And I guess, I think one of our approaches, you might say, is yes, we are interested and concerned about our opponents, but even more so, it's like we just want to be as good as we can be, and we feel like we've got a great team. We feel like we've got a really talented team. I think we've put nearly a month of really great work in.
So the Nairobi City Thunder are a team that I've been following for quite some time now. I've made numerous videos talking about their things, the way they go about, basketball, the way they go about their roster constructions, the things that they might do differently or can do differently to be able to put themselves in a position where they can be able to win. And in this one, I will take an approach where we talk about their chances in the Nile Conference. So in the Nile Conference teams, we have three other teams that the Nairobi City Thunder are going to be matching up against. So we have APR, which is the home team. We have Al Ahly Tripoli and MBB. So MBB is from South Africa, Al Ahly Tripoli is from Libya, and we have APR from Rwanda, which is the home team. So I must say this group might look difficult, especially from the madness we've seen this Sahara Conference. So when the BAL Season 5 started, we saw the Kalari Conference tip off. The games were quite predictable, and I must say, by far, the most tough and difficult conference was the Sahara Conference. I must say that was the most tough conference I've seen in this season. And I talked about it, and I made a video talking about the madness of the Sahara Conference. I mean, we had the third place team in Creole Star taking the third place. the first third place slot, and then NBC Thunder can do one or two things to be able to put themselves in a position to win. And one of them is finishing with a 4-2 record or a 5-1 record, something that I can say I am not too confident in their chances based on what I've been seeing recently. So on Friday, there was a game that happened. We had that game against Stanbic. So I was chilling in the house. I had come from doing some things out, doing some things in town. Then when I came back to the house, I tuned in to watch the Thunder versus Stanbic game, and I watched it from B Plus Sports. So make sure to check out B Plus Sports on YouTube. They are doing very good live feed for the games, and that game really shocked me because Stanbic were about to do the unthinkable. A week prior to BAL, they were almost unseating or toppling the Thunder, and this one, I must say, it raised a lot of eyebrows. So most notable, we didn't see the top players for the Thunder play. We didn't see Tyler Curry, we didn't see Derek Ogechi, we didn't see Alberto Dero play. We only saw Nana Apia play. We didn't see, the usual guys. We didn't see Garang there. So we had the second unit for the Thunder being rolled out. And I must say, they didn't do a very good job because they're getting outplayed and they looked so mortal in there. And they didn't look like a team that was part of the main team that's going to go to BAL. So they almost lost, and they won that game 77-75 was the final score. So I was not impressed in that one, but they're able to redeem themselves in the next game, in the fixtures where they were able to beat the NBK Phoenix, and they're able to blow them out. And it was a game that, I must say, the result was already known. And even from tip-off, I just knew this game they were going to win it. So the final score for that one was 62-48. So the NBC Thunder are a team that have been steamrolling Kenyan basketball for the better part of 2 years. Since their domination and their run started in 2023 after Twende Sports acquired the NBC Thunder, they have been on a roll and they're yet to lose in their home soil. And the only time they took a loss was in Tanzania in the first round of the Road to BAL. So this Nairobi Thunder, I must say, they can be able to do the unthinkable in this one. And I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I know they lost a couple of signings, a couple of premium signings that they made, but they were able to go ahead and they brought in Evans Ganapamo, they brought back UC, they brought in Nana Apia, they brought in that guy the center who's coming from Brazil. Can't remember his name, but we have seen him play and I've seen him in action. And looking at the performance that you have seen from BAL teams, the big question still remains. Do the Thunder have enough to go ahead and qualify? So I made a video dissecting the Thunder's road to BAL and also what happened in the local league and the way they have been altering their roster. And last week, I was not able to react. I didn't get to react to an interview that they did.
Situations like those will happen. But for us, it's just anybody can have a good night any particular day. So for us, it's not to only focus on what I can do on a particular time, but just how can we do as a team. So I think that's it. It's good. The players are working hard. The staff is working hard. And every day we are competing because we know where we are going. We are going to meet better teams. But I think we also can compete with them. And coaches are doing a good job of preparing us for next week. So I think we are doing good and we are working hard to represent Kenya. So we feel good about ourselves, but also for us the most important thing is only to work on ourselves. So we're only focusing on ourselves. We really don't.
But there was optimism in their camp and they were setting their sights on qualifying for the BAL playoffs, which is something that is not difficult to do if they play their cards right. And going by what we saw in the Sahara Conference, I'm not saying the result of the Sahara Conference is going to pan out the way things are going to turn out when they play in the Nile Conference. But all I'm just saying is anything can happen. So the most predictable conference was the Kalahari Conference. where we saw Al Ittihad and Rivers Hoopers steamroll the Kalahari Conference. They were able to get wins on Stade Malien, who went 0 for 6, and FS Rabat, the home team, they are third place there, and there's a high likelihood that they might miss the postseason. And we saw what happened in the Sahara Conference. The home team with a 2-4 record couldn't make it. They got beat by Creole Star, Petro de Luanda, and US Monastir, who took the top spot. And now, as we speak, we have APR, MBB, and Al Ahly Tripoli. So APR have been making some key signings in there to just revamp their roster, bringing in guys that played in last postseason and even last season. And APR played in the Sahara Conference, but this one they're playing in the Nile Conference. So then we have the Al Ahly Tripoli, who are also doing some signings in there, and also MBB. And MBB is a team that the Thunder are very familiar of, and they were able to blow them out in their Road to Ball Elite 16 last year. So what chances do the Thunder have in making it? The best case scenario is the Thunder winning at least 4 games, having a 4-2 record. That means they'll have to beat all these 3 teams one time, and they'll be able to at least steal one game, so they can be able to beat one team twice and beat other teams one time. I'm not saying that these games are easy, but they can be able to do it. I've watched a lot of ball games, and one thing I can say, the Thunder, the way they have tweaked their roster, they can be able to do a ball playoff push, and it's something that I'm optimistic about. But all I'm just saying is the Thunder have what it takes. And with their signings, we are seeing that they are visionary, and we are seeing that they are trying to blend into the African continent, something we have not seen other teams in Kenya do. We have seen KPA and the Ulinzi Warriors tried their hand in the Road to Ball, and they couldn't make it because they couldn't go ahead and sign players in the African market, and they failed. But you have seen the Nairobi City Thunder go to great lengths to bring in top-tier talent, especially ball veterans who can help them in their Road to Ball campaigns and also their ball campaigns. And they only did it in 1 year. KPA have had their swing for about 3 years. They couldn't make it. Ulinzi one time. The Nairobi City Thunder, they have a shot. Best case scenario, they have a 5-1 or a 4-2 record. That means if they have a 5-1 or a 4-2 record, they are placed at the 1 or 2 spots, and they have what it takes to be able to dominate. And they are coming in as the underdogs. APR are veterans. They have been in BAL multiple times. We have seen the Al Ahly Tripoli. I know the Al Ahly LY team that was from Libya made it all the way to the BAL finals. But this is not the same team. But there are similar players who play for that team that are going to be on that team. And looking at Libya's performance in the AfroBasket, there's a high likelihood that the players who play for their national team, coupled with a couple of imports, they can be able to do some damage. Then we have APR. APR are BAL veterans. Last season in BAL Season 4, they were not able to make it to the postseason. And it was very underwhelming, and they're trying to fix their wrongs. So Adonis Faila last season, he got an injury, and he was not able to even finish his BAL season, so he was out. And I can even say that is the main reason as to why they were not able to go ahead and win it and make it to the BAL postseason. But all in all, they couldn't make it, and they're trying to redeem themselves. Nairobi City Thunder are out to prove that they have what it takes to compete at that level. So domestically, the Nairobi City Thunder, there's no team that has been able to create a force that can be able to beat them. We have seen Umoja try it, but they can't. We have seen KPA try it, but they can't. We have seen Ulinzi try it, but they will never be able to get to that level. But when you look at the Nairobi City Thunder's performances in the Road to Ball, you can say that they knew and they had a vision, because majority of the times you see Kenyan teams like Ulinzi and KPA, they dominate here locally, especially KPA. But when they go to the Road to Ball, in the times KPA have gone to Road to Ball, they have failed. But if you look at the Nairobi City Thunder, you'll see that even despite the success that they had, they still wanted to retool their roster and retweak it to the point where they can be able to challenge and they can be able to pose a threat. And in home soil in the Elite 16, when it happened in Nairobi, they were able to defend home court and they went 5-0. Yes, they needed the help of Abdullah Haruna and Atar Majok, who they played who they needed, and after that run, they departed to go to Ville Dakar, and after that, they couldn't even make the BAL postseason, and they couldn't defend home court for Senegal. But all I'm just saying is, will the Thunder's new signings pan out? Will UC be able to be that person who can man the point guard position and take us to the next level the way he did in the Elite 16? I feel like he can. Evans Ganapamo, the last time we saw him was in BAL Season 4, and his performance was not the greatest, and he was not able to take that Bangui Sporting Club to the BAL playoffs, and that was something that was very sad to happen. That was sad to happen. And Evans Ganapamo, he had his best time and his best playing days when he played for the Cape Town Tigers, who are history right now. So he's coming in for the Thunder to be able to try to redeem himself. So do the Thunder have a chance? That's the best case scenario. They can finish at the 1 or 2 spots. Worst case scenario, if they finish with a 3-3 record, that will mean that they'll have a better record than FS Rabat. Because if the Thunder cannot be able to make it to the 1 or 2 spots, they can make it as a third place team, provided they have a better record than the FS Rabat, who are 2 and 4. So the phantom team that is in the racing to be able to get into the playoffs is FS Rabat, and they are hoping and they are praying that the Thunder have a poor record so that they can slide in. And that's something that I would not want to happen. I want to see the Thunder play at least 8 games, because in the regular season, the Thunder are going to play 6 games. And if they make it to the BAL playoffs, the first thing the Thunder will do, and all the teams will do, is play their classification games for seeding. Then they go ahead into the quarterfinals in the first round. So the Nairobi Thunder, they have a shot. They have Evans Ganapamo, they have Nana Apia, they still have the services of Taylor Ongwai, Derek Ogechi, Eugene Adera, Alberto Dero. They have those guys there. Hopefully, the woes that stop them from performing at their best in the Afrobasket will not follow them here, because even in the previous video I mentioned, and I said, the way they performed for Kenya in the Afrobasket qualifiers was very underwhelming. And if they cannot be able to overcome those demons, if they cannot be able to fix themselves mentally to be able to compete in this level, they will literally struggle. And that's something that I would not want to happen. And looking at the way the Thunder are very serious, especially when it comes to training, I feel like their training is different from what we see in the national teams. So I'm very optimistic, because they are pro players and they're looking towards making history for their country. And looking at the way the coaching staff, the organization with the 20 Sports have managed the Nairobi Thunder and put them in a position where they are among the top teams in East Africa, my confidence is not shaken at all. And I'm hoping they can be able to pose a threat to the teams in the continent, because that is where we fall. And the Thunder can be able to right our wrongs. They're able to do the unthinkable by making it to BAL. They're able to challenge teams that come from different parts of the continent in the Road to BAL campaign, finishing with an 8-1 record, something that has never been seen. And right now, as we speak, we are just hoping and praying that the Thunder can finish with either a 4-2 record or a 3-3 record. Worst case scenario, a 3-3 record. They can be able to at least make it to the BAL playoffs with those two. Or if they are confident enough, I'm not saying that the other teams are not good, but they can be able to go even 5-1. I'm not going to say 6-0. I don't think the Thunder are like an Al Ittihad. The North African teams are a different beast. I cannot go on a stretch and say that the Thunder can be able to, win 6-0. That's something that is very difficult to happen, especially when it comes to like Al Ahly Tripoli, the way they have retooled. They're not going to be an easy win. APR, the way they have retooled their roster, not an easy win. Hopefully, the Thunder can be able to grab 2 wins from MBB, a team that they were able to figure out in their first go around in the Elite 16. So that's something I'm also optimistic about. So yeah, man, this is what it is. So I'm going to be covering the Nairobi Thunder and all the other teams, similar to what I've been doing on the main channel and this channel, if you have noticed. So stay tuned to that. And yeah, man, if you like this video, like this video, like, share, subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get this platform to also at 10,000. So make sure to subscribe here, and also on the main channel also 10,000, so you can be able to get more maximum viewership there. So yeah, man, I'm out. I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Peace out.
The guys that we've brought in, you see the kind of the effort and intentionality that we have in terms of our preparation. We are going to make a statement. We would love to go 6-0 in conference play and advance to South Africa on a high note. So yeah, we're going to win. And maybe one of the advantages of playing in the last conference is that we haven't had to make such an immediate turnaround. There's been a little bit of time for us to kind of gather ourselves, prepare ourselves, and even our training camp has. It's not that it's been too long, but it's also not been too short either. So I think we're getting to that point now where we really want to go and compete.
It's about to get prepared for practice for BAL, and thank you all for coming. We'll be ready and make the country proud of us, and try to do the best that we can.